Welcome back, everyone. So back in February of 2017, I made a video documenting the setup and my initial thoughts of the HP OfficeJet 8710, OfficeJet Pro 8710. Well, that printer is finally being retired. I'm going to say one thing. This is probably the best inkjet printer I have ever owned, period. End of story. With a few caveats. It definitely does guzzle ink. This printer uses these push-in, lock-in type cartridges. And, of course, it's parked right now. But this printer has been the least problematic printer I have ever owned. I can't believe I'm saying this. One of the costliest, because it didn't really get a ton of use, and it was always needing ink for some reason. But its day has come. This printer has served its life about 7 years now, which is, I know that's not a long time, but in printer years, that's 2,000 years. It no longer functions correctly. It'll print, and then it'll just print garbage, no matter what we do. And the software that it uses for printing from like iPhones and everything else is probably buggy and obsolete, and it's time to let it go. So in this video, we're going to not only say goodbye to the 8710, which is really a shame. It was a good printer. Very expensive. The sad part is HP's situation has only gotten worse since these were released. Now they're trying to switch to a printer as a subscription model, and I'm not having any of that. They're forcing you into, they're going to start by, let's give it set it up as an option. You can optionally subscribe to our printers, or you can buy the printer. But you know where they're headed with this. They're going to try to make everything subscription only. I'm not buying it. No, thank you, HP. Your overpriced printer cartridges were one thing, but this is a whole nother level of stupid. I paid around $200 for this printer, and I definitely got my money's worth out of it. This printer was actually replaced last year with a Canon multifunction colored laser machine, which I love. I love that printer. It is a perfect machine, and for what I paid for it, I think it was quite a bargain too. But moving on, we're going to replace this 8710 with this. See a theme here? Canon. No longer buying HP products ever again. Sorry, HP, but I have given this company more than one opportunity to improve their products and improve their business model, but no more. We're going with Canon now. Actually went, so this printer was given to Amelia for her little candle business. And that's when we started running into trouble, because she's using it with an app and it's constantly crashing, and forget it. I will say one more thing though before we continue. This has never clogged. It has never clogged. I've never had to deal with clogged print heads on this machine. Whatever HP did, they did it right. They just screwed the pooch. But Canon is getting into, has gotten into the Mega Tank or Eco Tank knockoff type products. I went to the store, I went to Staples to buy an Epson Eco Tank for Amelia's business, and I came home with this. This has a 3-year warranty. It was the same money for the lower end model. This was $199, I believe, is what this went for. $190. No, is it $199? It was a little more than that. But it was still within striking distance of the cost of a lower end Epson Eco Tank. One of the things I liked about the Canon Maxify GX1020 is it does double-sided printing, and it has an actual paper tray. Epson is still doing the rear feed the rear feed paper trays. So what happens to those is they tend to get damaged with dust exposure, and they start to misfeed. That's a problem that's been plaguing Epson printers, by the way, since the Epson Stylus series of the mid-90s. But the Canon version of this, you know, fill from a bottle type inkjet printer, is it uses a more traditional paper tray. This is the lower end of the Canon Megatank series, the 1020. Then there's the, I think it's the 2020 or something like that. And I think the only real difference was in the document feeder, if I'm not mistaken, for the scanning function. I really bought this on price, though. I would have bought the more expensive one if I wasn't trying to save money. But anyway, let's go bring this downstairs and get it set up and see how much of a hassle that is. But meanwhile, this thing is getting recycled. It's time. Let's make sure there's nothing in the scanner bed. This thing has served me well, and it served Amelia very well. But once again, it was just way too expensive to keep this thing going. And for example, to refill this printer cost a little over $100 from empty. And it seems to burn through ink faster than it should. So off it goes. There's one thing I like about this Canon that I'm going to show you when we get it set up, and it has a replaceable waste tank, which is a really interesting feature for such a low-end printer. Normally, the lifespan of an inkjet printer is about as long as its waste tank. And once that fills up, it's done for. But this one has a replaceable one with a part number on it. And it sounds like Canon is banking on you actually paying money to service it, to buy more ink and to buy those little waste tank receptacles. So let's get her set up and see what we think. All right, guys, so I got the machine all unpacked. This is what you get. You get a color print head. And that's going to address a common problem that I find with the Epson Eco tanks. You've got a black print head. We'll talk about that in a minute. Here are your individual colors. Now, a full set of these is like $40 some odd for the color, and then the black one is I'm not sure what the black one costs. This is a starter set. These are not completely full, but they'll give us enough ink to probably run this printer for half a year or so. Based on experience with similar models from Epson, she may not have to buy ink for quite some time. Now, I want to address, so the Epson Eco Tank, I didn't buy the Eco Tank for the same money, and here's why. The Eco Tank, like I said earlier, still uses a rear feeding paper feeder. And those are a problem, especially in dusty environments, because they tend to misfeed as dust collects on the separator pad and wears down the rollers, or the feed rollers. They just start misfeeding constantly. The other thing with the Eco Tanks is they're extremely flimsy. Not that it really matters, but I like to be able to pick up the corner of a printer and not have the entire thing fold in half like a slice of white American cheese. That having been said, we've been running Eco Tanks since they were introduced. And aside from the early models with their non-keyed ink bottles, talk about that too, we have had no issues. I have actually had less problems with my Eco Tank printers, the $400 ones, than I've ever had with my my Canon, my HP color and black and white laser printers. They are the most problem-free printers we've ever purchased. But Canon's in the game now, and I wanted to give them a fair shot because I actually like Canon printers. All the best HP laser printers are made by Canon, and aside from HP's software, they're usually pretty bulletproof. So let's talk about that for a second. Not the Canon versus HP thing, but let's talk about... let's get into why these color keyed bottles are so important. So in the early Epson Eco Tanks, they were little more than bingo daubers with squeeze bottle caps on top of them. The problem with that is if you were to mix up the colors by accident, the printer's destroyed. You're never going to clean that out. It would cost too much. It would be virtually impossible to undo misfilling the ink reservoirs. It just can't be fixed. So in subsequent models, Epson started to key them so that you can't accidentally put yellow in your peanut butter and peanut butter in your yellow chocolate Reese's peanut butter cups. Could go for one of those right now. Anyway, so fortunately, Canon, when they came out with their own version of the EcoTank, they took that clue and went with it as well. Moving on, the biggest problem I've ever had with the EcoTanks is the print heads. Anyone who's ever owned an Epson printer ever can testify to the fact that they love to clog, especially if they don't get used frequently enough. And because we're a seasonal operation at work, oftentimes our printers sit for months without getting used. And sadly, they tend to clog in that intervening time period. The only way to unclog an Epson EcoTank is to run like 10 cleaning cycles in a row, and it's crazy. Epson has made the print heads replaceable. Now, I'm sure these are quite expensive. I'm going to look up the price on these, but at least they're giving you that option. No one's going to pay for print heads, but you have that option. I think it's pretty cool. And I bet these are pre-charged with ink. How much you want to bet? Okay. That's enough yammering. Let's get this thing turned on. I'm very glad to see that this printer has a built-in power supply. So all it needs for power is just a basic radio cord, which is included. I'm using my my HP's cord, because why not? To turn this thing on, I would assume there's a power switch. Does this, oh yeah, what kind of connections does this thing have? I didn't really talk, we didn't even gone over any specs yet. Wasn't planning on it. It doesn't matter. It's 2024, nobody cares. But it looks like it has, looks like it still has, yeah, we have Ethernet, we have USB. It's pretty nice. It's good to see that printers still have Ethernet ports, even though Gen Zs and younger millennials don't even know what those are. It's a very mean, broad generalization, by the way. Okay, so we got it turned on. It looks like a grand piano. I like the fact that it has a movable display panel. I mean, it's not as elegant as their more expensive models, but you know what, who gives a... Set to English, yes. I believe that is Saturday, March 16th. Right? Yeah, we'll change the date to the 16th. Although I wish it was in this, I couldn't lock it in that. No, okay. Time is 1:45 p.m. So 13:45. Okay, close cover. Well, I didn't put the cartridges in, so I'm not sure what it's going to want to do here. I haven't put the ink in. Do you want to enable automatic firmware? Yeah, definitely do. Open the cover. Okay. Insert a new printhead into the holder. How do I do that? Does this thing open up? Shit. I wish I had better lighting in here. I don't know. It's pretty vague. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'll put the print heads in. Color in black. These look like old-fashioned HP print cartridges from like the 900 series inkjets. You know what if you know, you know. They look like this. All right, so this is going to be our black. Be very careful. Don't scratch anything. All right. And color. And then lock it down. Now, lift up the cover and then slowly close it. Please wait. I haven't put the ink in yet. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to. Okay. Now it's telling you to put the ink in. So let's go ahead and this is actually quite satisfying. Just take your cap off the cartridge or the bottle and make sure you orient it in the right direction. I think it's bidirectional, and then just press down. Hear the ink going in until it stops. Now you can see your ink level right there. Okay, there's our yellow. Yellow. I don't say it that way. I'm actually from New England. I say yellow. I just was trying to be funny, you know. Here, listen to that. Drink up. Now you're going to see how much ink this thing goes through during its initial purge cycle. It's going to drain out most of that ink, filling up the lines and the print heads. If they're not already pre-charged, it's going to charge them. So I'm pretty sure that they ship them empty. Now that I think about it. So there's one thing I want to point out with these types of printers. They will actually print even though they're empty. Okay, at least the Epsons do, and there's a problem with that. You know how people complain that their HP LaserJet, or I'm sorry, DeskJet, is out of blue ink, but it won't print a black and white document until you fill the blue ink? Well, here's the deal. These printers don't have any way of knowing how much ink is actually in that tank. So they will happily print without blue ink, so to speak. The problem with that is it creates a situation where you have air bubbles in the lines, which is fine. It just means that you're going to have to run a purge cycle 2 or 3 times in a row when you refill the next time. So just keep that in mind. But from my experience with the Epson Eco Tanks, and again, it's hard to compare the two because Epson and Canon are not the same company. They may both be from Japan, but that doesn't mean they do everything the same way. You dig? Okay, good. Okay. Oh, I just spilled some ink. Another thing I want to point out is the quality of the inks in these types of printers may not be exactly the same as the older cartridge-based ones. I don't really know. Oh, this shit's nasty. It's, well, fortunately, this is a cheap, you know, Office Depot style wooden table, but If this was on my desk upstairs, which is unfinished wood, well, I'd be pretty upset, wouldn't I? All right, we got to get some paper in this. All right, so let's do this. We just put paper in there. Start print. So it looks like the heads are indeed pre-charged. There was some ink residue on the pull tabs. The initial setup and purge cycle takes like 9 hours to run. So we're gonna let it do its thing. I don't know if it's compatible with OS Monterey. Yeah, I don't know if it's compatible with Monterey. This Mac is end of life. I've been trying to get her to get rid of it for a while, and she doesn't want to, so it is what it is. But we'll let this go do its thing. Overall, I mean, this I kind of like Canon's industrial design. It's very 90s, like early 90s, blocky. Think like early Mac Power. You know, the original PowerBooks. They had this kind of blocky design to them. I kind of like that. It's, you know, I don't know, kind of retro. It's weird to think that this is retro, but it kind of is in a way. But I like the use of like smoked plastics on the top here, and you know the way they position the ink tanks right in the front like everyone else does, so that you can actually see what's in there. So that's kind of nice. I'll take it. Trying to get her iCloud account off of this thing because it hasn't been syncing for years. And it's just every 5 seconds it tells me, oh, error with your iCloud account, error with your iCloud. Anyway. This computer is pathetically slow. Absolutely pathetic. Oh man, I can't believe how freaking slow this printer is. I mean, this computer. It is so bad. It's all because it's a hard drive based Mac. It needs a solid state disk, and I'm just not putting one in. I mean, it's not worth it. I've been trying to get her to, you know, buy a reason. I actually bought her. I used a MacBook Air, and she's been using that, but she still has this thing. So I'm hoping I can use it to help set up this machine. But you gotta let it purge, and then we'll get it on Wi-Fi, and then we'll see if it links up to the Mac or not. All right, so it's now doing the calibration, where it aligns the print heads and all that happy stuff. So we're making some progress. Looks like this machine is compatible with Monterey, so we'll be able to get this thing installed on the Mac, which is kind of nice. Wasn't really expecting that, but you know. Canon would appreciate your cooperation in allowing your printer to send anonymous usage info to Canon. Okay, I'm sure they would. Yeah, what if I say no? Interesting. This is interesting. Canon requests that the information related to your Canon product be sent to Canon in case of using your product in China to the legally approved research company through the internet. I do not agree. You will not be able to use web services. That's fine. Do you want to connect your computer to a smartphone or printer? Yes. Yeah, we're not going to use idiot setup mode. We're just going to do it the hard way. So let it find my router, put in the password, and be done with it. Multiple wireless routers with the same name exist. There's only one. Interesting. Let's see. What's my magic word? Oh, wow. You've ever used an old cell phone, like a flip phone, to text? It's kind of the same thing. I think it's the only one. Yeah. Hold on. Okay, we're connected to the router. And let's see if we can see the printer now. I'm using the Master Setup app to do that. And hopefully it sees it. There it is. GX1020 series. And I think we're done. Connect to the printer via Wi-Fi. Yeah, we've already done. Alright, so now I'm going to download the relevant software and the scan utility and whatever else it needs, and that's going to do it. I don't believe this uses the old the UFR2 drivers or not. I know that my my color laser uses UFR2, so that's yeah. And just like that, we're all set. Got this thing all good and ready to go. Tested it with her phone. It worked perfectly the first time. Exactly as it should be. Supply levels. MC. That must be the waste tank right there. I don't know what else that could be. But yeah, pretty straightforward, pretty simple, done and done. What I want to see is if I can change the name of the printer from the control panel. Let's see. Other printer settings. Status light. It's the back button. LAN settings. I don't want that. No. Wait. Set printer name. Oh, that's not going to change it for... probably not. Folks, this is how we used to text. Oh, this isn't showing up in the... It's way... No, I can't get it to show up. But... Amelia's printer. Oh, you can't do a space. Can you? No. Let's see. So in the world of modern inkjet printers, don't buy an HP, guys. Just don't do it. Their business model is for the wolves. Not only that, their products are, you know, they're not bad, but they're not great. And I'll be honest, there's nothing really appealing about them anymore. You know, Canon, even Epson are kicking their asses. You know, service name. Ah, there we go. That's where you change it. It's under Bonjour service name. There we go. So I can change it right here too. I'm going to call it Amelia's printer. You know, and the thing is, HP has had a very strong product line in the laser sector, but their better ones are built by Canon. The only difference is the software is all HP, the engine is all Canon. I can't spell her. I know how to spell her name. What I'm saying is, if you like HP's laser printers, or the old ones, like the 4000 series, the 600 series, buy a Canon. And this way you're not supporting the evil empire that is HP, that has completely lost its nut, and, or lost its way, and has become, yeah, one of the worst tech companies on planet Earth. But nice thing about Canon is they're not trying to sell you a printer, a computer, a laptop, a cell phone. Nope, all they do is imaging products. They do projectors, printers. That's pretty much it. Cameras, SLR cameras. So imaging is their thing. Always has been. Computers and end user products like that are not really their forte. Printers, that's their thing. That's what they do well. So anyway, I hope this has been somewhat helpful and informative. And again, another quality Canon product that I think we'll be happy with this one. So thanks again for watching. All right. Now, what I want to do is go over a couple of numbers with the GX1020. So I'm going to just go to these Staples, for example. The GX1020 is in the Maxify family. The GX1020 is listed as a retail price of $329.99. That's not what I paid. I paid $220, I think. Yeah. Which is crazy. The GL25 cyan, magenta, yellow high yield 3-pack. That's high yield. Is $35. Individually, they're $11 a bottle. Yank. Let me look online. GX1020. See what other prices I can find. So $329 according to Staples, and I swear to God it was less than that. All right, Canon has it for $250. Canon retails it for $330. It's $330 everywhere else. I could have sworn it was not that much. Find the receipt. I swear to God it was like $220-ish. It was just like a little bit more. Maybe it was a sale. You know, that could have. No, they never put printers on sale unless they're being discontinued. All right, let's take a look at the black cartridge. We didn't get a price on the black cartridge. That one looks like you're going to get for. Looks like the it comes in multiple sizes, and according to Canon, it's the mouth of the horse, as they say. The horse of the mouth. No, I think I had it right the first time. Let's see if we can't find the print supplies cost. Here we go. Easy maintenance, easy living. Fuck HP. Did I mention fuck HP? Accessories. Oh, here we go. I don't want reviews of the accessories. I want the actual accessories. There we go. Okay. Oh, here we go. The maintenance cartridge. Now this one's gonna. Oh my God, $9.99 for the maintenance cartridge. That's the overflow tank, or the waste tank. The black print head, $25. The color print head, $33. We're not used to seeing prices like this on printer supplies, so excuse my shock and awe. I think it's GI25. Black ink is $15. And the multi-pack color is $29.95. So they're not offering multiple sizes, but they list everything here. And it's right there. I mean, this is a printer that you can live with. Guys, This is the hack we're looking for. Canon is kicking Epson's ass. Let's take a look at the cheapest Epson. Like they're doing something right. I think they know. What they're doing. I know what they're doing. They're seeing HP circle the drain and like, how can we just take the rest of the market away from them? This is how they're doing it. No subscription needed. Ridiculous. If I go to Epson.com, and of course this is their corporate page here, for home printers, EcoTank printers. Now I know Epson EcoTanks pretty well. I've installed dozens of them at work, and they are the most trouble-free printers we own. They really are. The EcoTank product line has really expanded. Like they have a photo grade version, like with grays and different shades of black. They've got the home and office version. They've got the EcoTank monochrome. They have a monochrome EcoTank. Epson and Canon are going to eat HP's lunch. I don't know what HP's thinking. Let's make printers worse. Let's make our products even worse. Let's charge a subscription. Yeah. Smart move, HP. You're just filling everyone else's coffers. All right, let's take a look at. I wanted to look at some pricing and do some. I haven't done page per cartridge or page per milliliter numbers. That's I don't want to get into those weeds, but let's just look at what the average person is going to look at. See, when you're selling printers to consumers, now I used to do this way back in the old days. I worked for Office Depot, and I was like their resident printer salesman. And consumers aren't looking at how many pages per cartridge. They're looking at how much is it. They're not looking at those numbers. They don't care about those numbers. They don't want to hear it. How much is the printer and how much is the ink? That's it. And this is from my own experience dealing with consumers directly as a salesperson. Wasn't the greatest sales job. I never got commission or anything, but I did sell a lot of printers. So the EcoTank ET2800, which I can get for less than $200 at Staples today or yesterday, it's $279.99 according to Epson. But like I said, I swear they had it on sale and it was dirt cheap. It's double-sided. Oh, single-sided. So, okay, for that much you don't even get double-sided. But that's okay. I'm looking at print speed here, and hold the phone. 5 pages per minute color, 10 black and white. What on earth? The fastest one they sell is $700, and it's 17 pages per minute black. Oh my, 9 color. I could have sworn we were past this, but then again, this is inkjet, so alright. Shop now. Let's look at our supplies. Okay. One thing I know is they don't sell any components like Canon does. Canon took this model one step further and made it more of a like, hey, friend, we're selling you this printer for a lot of money in inkjet dollars. We're selling it to you for a lot of dollars, and we want you to be able to use this printer for a little while. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to let you replace the print heads, and we're not going to charge you $80 a print head for it. You know, what a wow. Where did this come from? We'll even let you replace the waste tray or the waste cartridge, and we're not going to charge you an arm and a leg for that either. It's $10, sir. Canon is they're winning the game, guys. But Epson, you know what, they in true Epson form, you cannot replace your print heads. They are permanent. Their ink costs are $14 a bottle. Let's take a look at the black bottle and see if it tells me what the volume is on that. It doesn't tell me what the volume is, but I bet I can look that up. Let's see. Does it tell me? Is it anywhere in here listed? No, they're not telling me what the bottle. I mean, it would be easy to figure out. Just pour it into a little graduated cylinder, and you'd be on the ball. Yeah, there are no specs listed for the Ink 20 EcoTank 522 ink bottles. Let's see if we can find that. EcoTank 522. And by the way, just so you know, those EcoTank bottles are already being knocked off. There's no chips, there's no DRM. It's crazy. Like, it's like the Wild West again. I love it. I love it so much. How many milliliters? 65 milliliters. Black, cyan, magenta, yellow. And I keep getting text messages. Thank you guys. Really appreciate that. 65 mil for $14.99 a piece. Now, remember, the average, like, inkjet cartridge is only, like, I don't know, 10 milliliters or less. Seriously, guys. We're going to go over that, too. All right. Okay. 65 milliliter. Now, Canons. Canon GX1020 ink. 65 milliliters. All right, so I'm going to look at Canon. Canon might list the volume of their bottles. Oh, stupid double-click ad things don't work for some reason on my account. I got to figure that one out. GL25. That's what it is. They are, so I'm getting a page yield of 4,000. 4,000, not 400, 4,000. That's 4,000 divided by 5. That's like, do I really have to do this? That should be an easy one. That's 8 reams of paper. 70 milliliters, by the way. 70 mil per bottle. And, oh, by the way, these are aftermarket. They're $27.99. They're aftermarket. Okay. But that's what the printer can hold. So that's something. I wonder if the original ones are that big. 67 milliliters for the OEM black. And they're saying 3,000 pages per black bottle. But still, that's... Okay. All right, so it's 60... I'm getting new numbers now. The GI25, 67 mils on black, 37 mils on CMY, sorry. So the color is 37 milliliters. Either way, I mean, that is insane. Insanely cheap. And by the way, in case you were wondering, getting back to pricing, the GI25 colors, they're 37 milliliter for $10, not $15. So, did I mention the printer came with full bottles? Crazy, guys. You know, we've got this ink thing figured out pretty good, and it's not looking good for HP, I'll tell you that. You'll never see me going into any store of any kind saying, "Hi, could I please buy an HP DeskJet?" You know, and the sad thing is these are the printers that I've been buying over and over and over again since 1999. I've owned probably a dozen of the damn things, and I'll never buy another one. HP, you suck. You suck, and you deserve everything that's coming to you. I feel bad for your shareholders. You are going about this business all wrong. You are getting consumer hostile, where everyone else is going in the other direction. It's crazy and it's sad. I have owned so many HP DeskJet printers in my life, and OfficeJets. And I owned a PhotoJet, or whatever the fuck those were called. They used to have a photo series, a series of DeskJets for photo printing. I've owned a couple of those too. Guys, you're losing the game. You've lost the plot, and now you're just going down the tubes, and you deserve every lost sale you get. This is your making HP. It's over. You know, and that last printer I bought, it was like being in a bad relationship. The printer was reliable. The DeskJet or OfficeJet, the hell model was it? Doesn't matter. 8010, 8810, or whatever, I forget what it was. 85, 87, 8710, I think it was. In the beginning of the video, reverse. I've owned that printer for a long time, and it was reliable. It always worked, except the time when the certificate expired and I had to update it manually. Let's talk numbers again. Let's go to HP.com. Now let's go HP OfficeJet 8810 ink. Let's take a look and gander here and see what that costs, by the way. So it was the 950 series of cartridges. So the 950 high yield and CMY standard yield pack. This is the one that I used to buy, by the way. I'd buy the mega pack here. That's 3 color, 1 black, high yield, but standard yield color, right? It was $131 for that package. $131, and I wouldn't get very much use out of that, I'll tell you that much. Crazy. $130, and I'd like to see what the 951 CMY HP 951 ink. Let's see what the ink volume is on those. It's, by the way, the 3 colors, the tri-pack, was 7. Jesus, ad click, double click doesn't work. Why is that? I gotta figure that out. I've cleared my history, I've cleared my cookies, I gotta fix it. One of these days, Alice. Okay, 951 ink, ink volume. Let's take a look here. HP ink cartridges are made with recycled ocean-bound plastic. Oh, I don't care. You charge too much. You charge way too much for your shit. Cartridge yields approximately 700 pages per color. Did you get 700 pages for $80? Yeah, it's real, guys. This is real. 700 pages. HP, you so suck. You have been taking my money for so long. I can't wait for someone to file a class action lawsuit against you assholes. I can't wait. You have been screwing your customers for so long. HP.com. Let's take a look at what their printer offerings are now. Now that they're make printing a service. Woohoo. That's something nobody has ever asked for, and that is not why people hate your products. That is not why people hate HP. Not the, oh, you know, gee, I wish I had to pay every monthly fee to use. No one's ever said that. No one's ever said, hey, you know what would really make this printing experience so much better is if I had to pay a monthly fee, regardless of how much I didn't use, only to find out that the ink I've paid for has become obsolete because it's a day out of... What? No. Oh my. Home printers, here we go. HP did get into the tank printer market. We're going to look at that too. So the HP DeskJet, this is like their Walmart printer. Now they don't. The DeskJet is now, it's their Walmart printer now. Okay. HP 4155, basic printing, best for basic printing, travel documents. Yeah, I'm going to print my passport on that. Requires HP includes 6 free months of instant ink and with more with optional HP Plus. So it is optional for the DeskJet 4155. So you don't have to. They're just testing the waters to see what you'll accept. Let's see. Doesn't say anything about cartridges. But they have the Smart Tank line. I'd love to see what that offers. Let's take a look at their Smart Tanks. Let's go to Staples. Here we go. Smart Tank 7301. $289.99. Okay, maybe they're learning. Let's see. Protection plan. Oh, gotta get the protection plan. Specifications. Super tank. What about consumables? Let's see. Nothing. Oh, here we go. Oh, HP. You never out HP yourselves. They do have a standard, a high yield black cartridge. It is okay. 6,000 pages per cartridge is the estimated yield. Doesn't say what the capacity is, but I'm sure it's listed somewhere. And view full product details. Let's see. 32XL black high yield ink. Okay. Doesn't say it, but it does claim a 6,000 page yield. That, okay. Okay, HP. All right. And apparently the color is good for 8,000 pages per yield, or per. The standard yield ink yellow is $18.49, and it's allegedly good for 8,000. Well, let's just see. Let's just see how well this plans out for them, or works out for them, because this could be a good move. No, they didn't. Oh, yes, they did. Yeah. Can you guess what they did? So, they have equipped this printer with what looks like non-keyed bottles. Yeah. So, the bottles can be mixed up, and they're hoping that you do, because that will destroy the printer. Maybe. Good for 11 to 20 pages per minute. Okay. If anyone wants to buy one of these and let me know what you think of it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Until then, and personally, at least for my personal printing needs and for my business, I use Canon color laser, and I'm never going back to inkjet again. But for Amelia, she does a ton of color printing, and she buys her own printing products and equipment, and she can write it off on her taxes for her business. So for her to have her own inkjet printer that's a tank type machine makes perfect sense. Anyway, HP, you suck. You've lost me as a customer, and we're done. I have nothing else to say. I will say one more thing, though, because I can never just leave a room without saying the last word. when HP tried the page width inkjet printers, I was kind of with them on that. Because I had that idea when I was a kid, like really stupid young. I was probably like 14. And I remember watching a fax machine print using a thermal print head. And I'm like, what if that technology could be applied to inkjet? You know, like a page width print head. And I thought it was a great idea because it's fast. There's no side-to-side movement. The paper moves smoothly through the machine, and the ink is sprayed smoothly in one continuous pass. That means it eliminates all banding. I mean, it's genius. So when I found out that HP actually came out with a product like this, I went down to the store with my money in my hand, and I'm like, shut up and take my money, until I looked up the supply costs. The cartridges were $100 a piece. And I'm like, oh, way to ruin a good idea. $100 a piece. You know, that technology could have taken over inkjet printing entirely. And it would have been brilliant. Costly, but brilliant. But they got too greedy, in my opinion. And on that note, off I go.